building your second frame very shortly. So that'll be kind of an interesting exercise for everybody who wants to do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So thank you everybody for showing up to this Monday, August 21st, Legal Shield and Fieldnotes webinar that we do today. How is everybody doing? Thumbs
Great.
up. Amen. Good to hear. So today I wanted to quiz you people. I wanted to ask you guys questions if you guys could help me with my CRM. Maybe you guys can, maybe you guys can't. Now, if you guys had something else, because there's not too many newbies here, if there's something that you do want to look in specifics, then we can obviously do that as well. However, I did want to see if you guys could help me out maybe with some small little questions, and then we see where it goes.
I did have a couple of questions that I came up with as I was going through some things yesterday, Jeremy. So I'll put them out there and maybe it fits in with the things that you're doing, hopefully. The logic between views and action plans. What I ran into is I'd built a view and I looked at it and I said, whoa, there's people missing off of this view.
Okay.
And I realized what I did was I built a view that says if people are this, or if they are this, or if they are this, then I want to see them in this view. And I came to the conclusion that what I was seeing was if they are this and this and this, show them to me.
Yep.
And if you don't have that logic straight, if you then go to build a an action plan based on those things, you may get fewer emails out than you were expecting to. So that was the thing that I was kind of noodling and trying to start thinking through. And it's important as we build action plans and we build views to show us things that we know what the logic is that we're using. If we're using an and, or if we're using an or. So that makes a huge difference. It would be interesting to put that by the programmers as well and see what was the intent in the way it's built and how do we let people know that that's the way it's built, or is there a way of exposing that logic, that is to say,
and
or I'm going to decide whether I'm using an and or an or in this logic.
Tell me, Gary.
Patty, you look confused.
No,
what did you say?
I'm multitasking. I'm very bad.
Okay. That's okay then.
Yeah,
it wasn't me.
No, not you. It's. I recognize that there are things that happen within Legal Shield that may or may not have been intentionally created, but they're not necessarily the way I would see the progression going. So I suddenly get someplace and I have no idea, number one, how I got there, because I thought I was going somewhere else. And number two, what I'm supposed to do with this at this point in the process. And I'm looking at Jeremy's face and he's going, so tell me more about this, because this isn't making sense to me. And I can't, because by the time I get there, I have lost track of where I even thought I was trying to go. So that's my issue. And it probably is a good reason to not be multitasking right now.
Perfect. Well, we all learn little things, as we go. But so Gary, tell me, what was it? Something following Rick, what he was talking about?
No, I just want to make a suggestion, or this is on my wish list.
Gotcha.
let's say you go and open up one of your people there, and then you get that contact details, right?
Mhm.
On the far right side, what would be really helpful for me, I know you can open up these things,
Mhm.
but I would like to, if I have data in every one of those categories, if it would automatically open, because when I'm contacting somebody, I'm trying to flick through the ones that have information in. It'd be nice if I have data in any one of those categories, it would automatically open up so that when I'm talking to that person, I can just see it all right away or scroll down.
That's in the works.
Oh,
So
awesome.
the next release, which I think is end of the month, that that is so what should happen is any information that is here, like that you've added to the contact, will display. And then I think it's going to have this little thing here if you wanted to view the empty fields. But at least it's going to, from the open, right? So from when you go to the contact and you open it up, it will literally just have what's applied to it so that you don't really have to kind of open and go. But then it has one of these buttons that will show you all of the empty fields. And then
Perfect.
and then what I said to myself was, if you doubted what fields were here, you would just go to edit, and then it's going to show you everything. And then if you saw something that needed to be adjusted, oh, well, he doesn't have his birthday, let me just add that, right? So I'm okay with what's coming, because essentially it's kind of like the old view. When you opened up the quick view, it would just show you what's applied, nothing else. It didn't have any other fields missing or blank. It was, and then if you would go to edit, and then you would apply, and then you would see it magically appear. So, but okay, so back to the views and the action plan. So I see the logic utilizing views in conjunction with action plans, but that is not that they're connected. It's just that the same filters that you use over here to make the view, you want to translate it over to the same triggers into the action plan, right, Rick?
Correct.
And then that's where, because the views, and that is correct, when you filter, if you are, let's say you're doing spheres or something like that, right? Anybody can be all of these, right? What you're saying is that if you say, I want to pick up on hot leads, I want to look at HR, you would want to look at not only people just hot leads, just HR. You're not looking for the combination of the two, correct?
Well, that's the way I was approaching it. I was saying I want anybody that's in this list plus anybody that's in this list plus anybody that's in this list. That's the way I was thinking when I created the view originally. What I got was anybody that's in all three, nobody else. If they're in this one and this one, but not this one, then that view doesn't show them to me because they have to be in all three.
So with this one that I just did, I did HR and I did hot leads. I'm only now getting hot leads just because this is, and then so let me see what else let's see if we can deconstruct this real quick. Show filters. So hot leads and BNI. How about that? So hot leads, BNI. So now it's bringing me hot leads and people that are in BNI. Let's do this again. So we got members active. Members active. I guess we could do hot leads, BNI. We got business owner. So hot leads, BNI. business owner. I have a question. Does anybody currently at this moment have Chrome where it says up here at the top, update?
Let me look.
Usually I check for updates every day. So I don't.
Yeah.
So everybody's updated.
I don't either. Yeah.
Okay. A couple of people have been having issues. So they've complained, or they've claimed that adding spheres and adding things to the contact, and it just wouldn't add. They did it 3 times. It just won't add. Jeremy, what's wrong? You know, call the developers, put out the fire, right? It's the updated. So it happened with one person in real estate, and then I think it happened with like 2 people in, and the only thing that I could think of was just, hey, update it. If it's not updated, update it real quick and then try again.
Yeah.
Cassie did it, Joy, I think, did it, and everything was magically back to normal and working again. So
Yeah. That is
FYI,
true about Chrome updates. That if it says updates, it means, yeah, click this and go ahead and let your browser restart.
Mhm.
Because at that point in time, there are things that are simply disabled for whatever reason. Things aren't working anymore. And so you need to go through the update in order to get all your functionality back.
Yes, yes. And then I've seen that our program works wonky when there is an update that needs to be done. So FYI.
Yeah, and it's
Not
not
that I-
just Fieldnotes. A lot of things are
the
going to
same.
go crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So you see that it does look up hot leads by itself. It does pull up people in BNI, and it does pull up people with the business owner. You're saying that it would only pull those if they had those 3 they must have those 3 categories. Am I correct? Because right now the logic is any of those 3 with the filters
Okay.
in here. So if I save this as a view, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll call this Rick's view.
Rick, are you saying that was not what was happening for you?
That's not what I was seeing when I was working with it last night. It was not doing either this or this or this. It was doing this
All 3.
plus this plus this. And if they're
Oh.
not in all 3,
Got it.
then they're not in the view.
When they're not in the view. So let me see. Let me just take myself out of BNI.
They're too darn expensive anyway. That's fine. Take yourself.
And,
Yes.
and then, and then let me put myself in the business owner.
There you go.
And I want to see if I still show up in this view. Where you at? Where you at? So I took myself out of BNI, put myself into business, and I still show up in the list. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting.
I would maybe like to dissect it maybe when you got a second.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at it. But I do see the logic, right? The logic is to look at this, to have, okay, so I've got 21 people, right? So to entertain Rick in his logic, we can go to this test one and we can play around with the triggers, right? So in order to do this triggers, it's all spheres based. So we could use this one. And we can go look for the sphere. Has values, BNI, business owner. And I think the other one was hot lead.
Okay. And in this case, they show us very definitely they're looking at an or operator.
So this is
So,
BNI or business owner or hot leads. I see.
yeah. So that
So-
that tells me, yes, this is going to incorporate all three.
So this is what I wanted to do. Now it shows 18. Now the view, if I'm correct, did anybody remember the number? I think it was like 21.
21. And it may be that somebody doesn't
Doesn't have any
have an email address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it got to be. So
Mhm.
we're not going to run this because we don't need to yet, but let's go back to, and it's 21. Yep. Those three. So
Okay.
does
That
everybody
planifies
follow,
that.
does everybody follow Rick's logic on how he's using the views to kind of understand how he's building his action plans? Does anybody find this as like helpful? Because I will say that this is a way of utilizing both, but I just have to reiterate, they're not connected in any way, shape, or form, right? You just
Mhm.
used one to kind of play out the logic in your head, build a group together,
Mhm.
kind of see what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you gotta, and then this is great now, because now that you've got your focus group, you can check emails, right? Check phone numbers, make sure that I've got everything correct, right? Because this is, I don't want to say your bread and butter, but this is what you're going to email out to people. This is what you're trying to
Mhm.
generate something with. So,
Yeah.
and now you can look at it.
And another thing you could do with that would be helpful, Jeremy, is you let's see, can you do that? Can you build the view based on information not there? Yeah, there is empty capability, right? So
Mhm.
you could build a view that says, missing email. And now you go look at that, and now you can go down through your list and know, oh, okay, here's 10 that I've got in here who don't have emails. So now you've got the task of trying to find those emails.
See, so what what I what I like about this, and I can say that I do this from time to time, is the count, right? It's important to know your numbers. It's important to know what you're importing from Legal Shield. It's important to then come and know of your groups and look at your numbers, because I know Legal Shield gives numbers. These are your members, like it just kind of gives you stats. So it's something that you can kind of just go back and forth with as you filter, or as you have all your little views. You could just go click and then just one number. Okay. All right. Okay. And as long as your numbers add up, then most likely everything is correct. So this is what I like about this. And I find myself doing this from time to time, just to kind of, when people say stuff to me, well, Jeremy, I'm trying to send it to these people and I'm trying to do this, but not everybody's going in. It's a real simple, for me, it's simple. It's something is not categorized within the context that allows it to either show up in the view, show up into the triggers, or do any of that. So it's a matter of just with the filters and the columns to view everything, and then validate that all the information is correct, and then move forward, and you'll see that everybody shows up the way that they need to. And so that definitely, if anybody here isn't thinking about doing that, that's like I would say that's like a high level kind of little tool to kind of figure out and make sure that your numbers are correct and that kind of stuff. So I I think that definitely was, it's an advanced kind of thing, but I would like to see it in the way that you're using it, to see maybe, that's why I said, is Chrome updated, right? Because if because if it's working over here for me, then why are you seeing different? That's what got me thinking, it could be like a Chrome issue. But if you say if everybody says that their Chrome is up to date, then I got no gripe there. But okay. So I was, do we have any questions about this, action plans, or any of the above, like what we discussed? Did this open up and cause a question to come about or any other kind of no? All right. So
No, but that's good because, I was usually using it only for one sphere. I didn't think of using it for multiple spheres and then create a action plan.
well sometime like let's say you were using spheres for just different industries and things like that. You may have a topic that's speaking to multiple industries, right? So you want to group them all into kind of like a, maybe just like a one-off email to these people just because it kind of resonates with everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would, that's what I would kind of do, or think of the reason why to do it would be that, right? But
Mhm. And that's where I came across it. I just, I had this view, and I was saying, okay, well, here's 3 different categories of people that occasionally I send a message to. So I'm not going to necessarily go build an action plan. But if the logic is different between the two, then you would need to know that, because it does change who gets this. So
yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, by the way, I just wanted to tell you, I bought the book Ninja Selling, and I'm going through
Really?
it. And it's opening my mind to a lot more new ways to use field notes.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's crazy and so okay, so if you perfect and just put in practice what they've already outlined, you should be making 6 figures.
Yeah.
Now that's in real estate, right? So every client, obviously, when you're making a couple of grand on a commission or something like that, then that makes sense. But this should allow you to just create the relationships. And then when you've got, I don't know if you do a lot of business or that kind of stuff, but when you're dealing with business owners and people that run companies and things like that, it's that angle that gets them to think about you when you want them to think about you. And so it's like, why would you not do that? Right? Why wouldn't you just not do that anyway? Like and that's why when I saw that book, I was just like, heard this, right? However, it's just outlined extremely well. So it just makes it real clear. Like for me to get to the ninja selling kind of tactics, let's say that was like 15 years of my life sitting in boiler rooms, getting yelled at, drinking coffee, knowing that I'm like, in the wrong place. And so that's why I like that book. And then and it's all about referrals, right? So, and then that's something that's also what I put into the template library for you guys to have and build on the different angles. And then, you guys can really kind of just take it and do with what you want with it. But that angle is like no other. And it could bring other business from other, angles. And so I'm glad that you got the book. It was what, like $20, something like that. Did you do Amazon?
Yeah, I'm listening to it on audio right now, but I will buy
Oh,
the book for reference also,
yeah, no.
because
Well,
I usually upgrade. But really, it's all about relationship selling.
absolutely.
It's really no different than, the old way of selling is you ask a girl out and you kiss her on the first date. Well, those days are gone, right? You need to build a relationship and a trust. And that's what ninja selling does. That 8 and 8 that you talk about,
Hmm.
that's all about getting them to know you and recognize you so they open your emails and read them in the future.
Yeah. No, totally. And then there's like, I don't know if you guys have heard of Alec I always F up his name, like Alex Mosley or something like that. Mosley. He's like I don't know, just a young kid. He owns acquisition.com, and he's got a lot of like extra sales tips that he just does little YouTubes and shorts for, and it's all about how you word stuff. Are you opposed to, utilizing the service opposed to, wording it differently? And so I think sales is a conjunction of many different things, right? However, the ninja selling really puts it into perspective, A to Z, for anybody that is on the fence on, is my system better than another system? you'll most likely gravitate to the way that it attracts attention to you and really puts the correct candidates at the right time. So now that you have access to action plans and you can save people's contacts and you can really build a profile, right? So that's the forward, right? That's the family and friends, that's the occupation, recreation, dreams. I think if you know anything about, if you know somebody on that level, I think your conversations are going to be way different, right? They're not going to be about me trying to pitch you something. It's more like me listening to your life go on and yada yada. And there's the real reason, you know, there's just a connection. And through conversation, you hear things, right? Those life moments in which you feel that maybe your product can help. Totally different than you just, you know, sending weekly emails, monthly emails, trying to sell them something that it hasn't connected, right? And I worked in an office in which they fired a lady that was like bringing in 80 grand. And I just didn't understand. I was like, how the hell are you, why she brought in $80,000 a month consistently? And all his answer was, is I could pay anybody to do that. I could have AI do that. And that's true. The deals that she was pulling were straight from email and text. So it was nothing that she was doing ever going out, creating relationships, getting, you know, getting to know the CEO, finding out all the problems with the company. We might have 20 solutions for them, but yet she never asked. She just sold them 6 tickets to one event and that was it, when we could have had possibly the whole company's participation. So he was like, I don't need that. I need somebody else. And then I was just like, oh, okay, now I see, right? So in reference to this computer system or this CR system will allow you to pick up the low hanging fruit. If you set up your action plans, if you set up your text messages, if you set up your emails, there is a percentage of the people, if you build it correctly, they will just buy off of the email and text alone. But everybody else, you got to give a little extra. So that's where you've got the system picking up the low hanging fruit and you're really trying to break the deals with the other people that really takes. So that
What was that guy's user URL, Jeremy?
acquisition.com.
Acquisition.com. Okay.
Yeah. I guess I can find him relatively quick. Oh, here he is.
All right.
Hormozy is his name. Alex Hormozy. And he's got this 100 million leads book. I really, really like the way that he just has a look at sales in general. And so here is his name. And you can find him on YouTube. Yeah, Hormozy.
HORMOZI.
Yep. You can find him on YouTube. He's got plenty of shorts, but the content that he's putting out really resonates on just how to phrase questions, just how to put things together and really kind of get analytic with the sales of it. And it just equals numbers, right? He's real. If you want results, boom, 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 boom. And he gives you a lot of like the digital marketing and he gives you so much when it comes to just dealing with leads, sales, and like building a company and scaling it. So, and he's learned from like the best, and he's got really, really cool, how would you say, habits, which anybody could definitely borrow from and make gold. So, what was I going to? What were we going to say? Oh, I was going to.
Yeah, we took you totally in a different direction.
You did. You got me in the woods right now.
Yeah.
Well,
you ever have that professor in college? It's like, well, if we mention this, we know this is his favorite topic. We won't have to worry about a test or anything.
Is that what you guys trying to give me just to get out of school day? Is that what it is? When I said that I'm going to start quizzing you guys and having you guys answer my questions, all of a sudden everybody just went like this and said, oh no, don't call on me. Miriam looked down. She all of a sudden, he's up. The dog gotta go down. So.
Yeah, Rick, I used to get free lunches just for doing that.
I was taking notes.
Amen. Amen. Well, definitely good in that kind of sense. Like
another book along that same lines you may want to add to your list is 7 Levels of Communication.
I think that's one of Hormozy's. I think he's got like, he says he reads like, he says he I don't forget how he says it. He says like, I grab 100 books, I skim through like half of them, and then there's the other half that I read religiously. And I think he named one of those as his like top books that he really kind of gets into. But it's like, anytime that I've learned more how relationship things and like psychology things into how to deal with the human being, that's always helped me in sales, right? More than anything that I've ever learned in sales from salesmen, it's always been how to like deal with people. You know what I mean? And if you can deal with people, well, then all of a sudden you're making it happen. So,
Yeah.
but definitely a highlight. Yes, I applaud you on that. And if anybody else is questioned about like, what to do, it has to do with real estate, but you can definitely see how it transitions into like sales in general and just following up with people and that kind of stuff. So good with that. Where we are with time. No, we've got we're good. So I was going to say, if I needed to figure out when an email was going out, whether if it was scheduled or already completed, where would you guys go? Does
Well,
anybody have an idea? There's
I
a
go- the
couple of
place I-
places too, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just go to responses,
Okay,
and then that's what I do. There may be a better way, but that's what I do.
so you go to responses
And
and
then
you utilize the filters.
yes, and then I select, show by contact. I go by all responses.
You go all responses. Okay, so whether email, text
Oh,
message,
yeah, and then that's where I go for both of those. And then
everybody know about this little button that breaks it up into contact instead of just communication.
that's what I use.
Okay,
Is
perfect.
there a better way?
Not a better way, but there's just another way.
Okay,
And that's with your calendar.
okay,
So in the calendar view, you can hit the filters and you can not only look at your appointments, but emails, text messages, and all. So if it's a little bit related as to what emails are going out and maybe what follow-up do I have, this is where you would kind of see it all, and you would see it all kind of plastered out on your calendar, right? So if we hit apply, I don't think we have anything. I don't use this for emails just because none of these contacts are real. But let me see if we have any completed. But you can see it here. It will show it you in the future. So if it was stuff that was created in the future, you could. Let me see where my self is. Oops.
so Jeremy, in other words, I had just sent out, I selected a group of people, there was like 53, and I'd scheduled to go out at 8 o'clock this morning. So I could go here and see if it was scheduled, because that was the only thing I didn't have a good picture of is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're in it, if you're there now, go to calendar view. Let me just come, I'm just gonna throw an email in the future. Blah 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 blah. And send. And so calendar view, you do your filters. You want to look at an email. And so this is my scheduled email going off Wednesday. If you did it with 100 people, you would have 100, you would show like 100, and then you could click it and it would show you everybody in a small little box of all the emails that you have scheduling out. Give you the
Yeah.
time, it'll pull up all the contacts. So just a different place, but you can visualize it. Plus, if you look at not only emails and appointments or all, you'll kind of have everything, meaning any to-dos not to-dos, but appointments, like all day reminders. They would be basically sitting up at top. Here would show your email in the future. If you had text messages following the email, all of that would be there so that you could just visualize it differently. I think the responses, yes, helps, right? Maybe when looking up information, but really
Like,
it just,
this
you
gives
know,
me the view that I was hoping I could find, because it does show up my 53 emails. And when I click on it, it shows everybody if they
right?
received it, if they opened it, or if they didn't open it. That's
Oh, no,
nice.
it will do that as well, right? It'll show you the double checks. Then
Yeah.
you can actually click the contact. It would open up the contact. So it kind of like, if you, I don't know, it's just a different way to see things. And because it does lead you to, so let me just filter again, all, you could essentially click on it and now you have access to Jeremy. Oh, okay, let me just go ahead and put a note. Let me just see about his details, close, and now you're back and you've got a list of 52 people. So you don't have to go filter nobody. That list, that focus group. I mean, yes, you could have it in a view, but now that you're here reviewing everything, you know, if you saw an email and somebody doesn't need to get it, you could quickly kill it, you know, and now it's no longer an email in the future. So, all right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, what
Patty,
is,
you're muted.
oh, do you have something, Patty?
Yeah, here talking to myself.
There you go.
So Jeremy, is there a way to show, well, okay, just one day so that you have, okay, here's today, here's everything laid out? I mean, it's pretty good there. I missed one brain cell left and
So
I got
I've
that.
requested with the developers to give us a month view, right? So that we could see what our month looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a little bit of what you're saying. You're just now going to a day, a specific day, so that you could look at what's going on in a day.
Right.
Something to suggest, essentially, and
Okay.
then see how they are with. So in the next couple of releases, they've got some pretty cool things that they're trying to push out. So they are obviously looking to move the ball forward. Also, we're looking to end on the old CRM, which is going to be good news because that's going to give us more processing power to dedicate to one application. So hopefully after all the things that we've done and where we're at now, we'll get into hopefully more stable and more processing power. So we'll see how that goes. So I would love to know, you know, when that happens, how you guys, what your experience is when you log in, if it's faster, if it's quicker, that kind of stuff. But I will just bring that up to them if we can get multiple views, which, you know, another thing, if you're looking to, well, how does everybody feel about the subscribe to daily activities reminders? Because if you're utilizing your appointments, your reminders, and your to-dos, right? It will show up in this daily email 6 o'clock in the morning from Sparky. So hopefully when you're drinking your coffee, you know, starting your day, you could definitely go to this email and just see what activities have, you know, if you've got today and you've got 12 activities, well, it's most likely not, you know, good for you to hit the snooze button, right? Maybe you need to get up a little early and deal with this. Or in fact, you don't have nothing. So you do have a free day, right? But that's all up to you. So I'm just questioning, how do you guys use these daily activity reminders?
I have not, but it's a good idea.
I just, because it also gives you links. Let me see if I can pull up, because I think I get these. I think I put them in Spark. Notification. Location. Upload your daily activity. So these are the dates. This is a to-do. This is, let's see, this is the contact, the email, the phone number, details, done. So you can actually get it done from here, opposed to actually having to, right? So these are just ways to be more productive. So if you don't have this turned on, definitely go over to here, turn it on, and see if, I mean, I guess as you have to-dos, as you have all day reminders, and as you have appointments, it'll help you at least stay on top of them. And then the ones that aren't complete and that they're overdue, it'll help you kind of stay on top of those as well. And you can just do them from the email. So what it does is it hits that link, it'll pull open the browser, it'll log you in and take you straight to that. And then you can just basically complete it and then you're done. So I think that should help you guys with, like, when you have to-dos and all day reminders that aren't checked and they just kind of live forever, and then it kind of out of whacks your numbers. And so, well, that's good.
It's like Dave Ramsey talking about debts. You've had them around so long, it's like a pet. You need to give them a name.
Well, this is where you don't have to give them a name. You can just get them out of there so you can not have to look at them. But totally. So does anybody else have any questions? Did anybody get the notification?
Going into the calendar to follow what you were just doing, showing emails, whatever that are coming up. I've gotten into mine, and of course I've got those emails that go out every Wednesday and they're not showing up on the calendar. So what am I doing wrong? I've got 2 sets of emails and action plans that go out every Wednesday morning. And when I'm in the calendar.
You want to share your screen?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to share your screen?
Sure.
I'll just have to blur out some details, but I'm gonna stop. It's all yours.
Well, it was, and then you stopped, and now it's not. This one's the one I want, I think. Are you there?
Yes, we are.
So there's nothing there. And I've got, should have emails sitting here for Wednesday based on what you just did for your demo.
All righty, so undo the action plan.
Undo the action. It's not due.
Right. Just not select an action plan. I know this is your Bob's Weekly Luncheon, but unselect that, just leave it all action plan.
Okay.
And then apply.
Yep.
I don't like
it
when he does that thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, one just has to sit back and think about it.
It's one step away from
Let's go to the action plan and just kind of when I get stumped, I kind of start from the beginning, and then so action plan. Yep. And then let's go find your luncheon.
Hold on. Okay, there's one right here.
So let's look at your running. And let's go ahead and show only running, no running plans found, looks like.
You're gonna have to mumble louder.
Right here. Give that a check.
It is checked. Uncheck it.
An uncheck, I apologize. So this just looks completed. Do me a favor and go to scheduled. And so this is scheduled for the 23rd. So,
We can do this offline. I don't want to take everybody else down this rabbit hole.
well, what I think it is that it's triggered the 23rd, right?
Yeah.
So the 23rd is going to come around, it's going to trigger it, and then it's going to show that it's being sent, but it's going to show up on the date that it's being sent. So
But
this
why,
is
yeah, but when we were in the calendar, why didn't it show the ones that were sent?
from the 16th.
When we were in the calendar, that's 23rd through the 26th,
Uh-huh.
but, which is
That's-
not a, so that makes no sense. 20 through the 26th. So it should be showing here. And the reason that this is showing here is because as soon as I leave, I've got to go back in and tell it I only want mine. And it automatically brings up everybody, which is kind of an irritant.
Okay,
Bob.
so scroll down a little bit. Okay, so okay, so the reason why my logic is why it's not is because it's triggered the 23rd, so it's not an email. You can go into any of those contacts and you'll see that there's no email in there scheduled, right? So for that, that's why it's not showing up on.
Okay, so why is it not showing up for last week?
Okay, so this is this is appointment. So let's put this to emails or all and hit completed.
I don't.
Check completed right there. Yep. And then apply. Oops, well, it has to be checked. And we've got some email. Are those the ones?
Yep.
Well, that is the message. Okay, and Jackie. Okay.
Yep.
But it's not, okay.
So
Okay.
I would play with it more, but the reason why the other ones aren't showing up is because it hasn't been triggered. So I'm pretty sure if you come to the 23rd and those don't have a specific date, like, well, a time, you'll find it triggered. Well, you'll find it triggered at the time that you triggered it. So do you remember what time you triggered that? These ones went out at.
No, I set those action plans up years ago.
Okay.
So that was
Well,
one of the first things I did when I got Fieldnotes.
I think 7:30 or 8 is when they will drop.
Yeah.
But you could come the 23rd and you would see that most likely in the morning you'll show them there. And then if they're completed, just check completed so that they show.
Okay. But they're not going to show.
They're not going to show yet because they haven't been triggered.
Okay.
Makes sense? So now if you did an email in the future, but you just did it yourself, kind of like I showed you, you will see it there because there's an actual email scheduled in the future. What you did is you have an email, right? An action plan that is set to trigger on the 23rd. And now we are the 20th. So it has yet to trigger and to show into the people's, right? So that's why.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
All righty. Well, did I cause any more questions to come about? No? Well, I want to not take too much people's time. So I definitely thank for everybody for showing up. And yeah, remember, if you guys have any topics, if you have anything you guys want to discuss, bring up, would love to hear it. Sorry, Rick, I didn't, or Keith, I didn't. I think there was a virtual elements of virtual selling. I think that weekend was a karate tournament weekend. So, and I think
Oh,
the
the
other one
last
was,
weekend, yeah,
it was-
that's fine.
yeah.
wanna-
So, but
I
whenever you
apologize.
want to, you know, tag me in, you just let me know.
Yeah, thank you very much. I apologize for that. I was just not able to deliver the performance that we needed to deliver that day. I just didn't have the energy.
Yeah,
So,
no, totally.
but I'm getting better. My oxygen's going up, so that's a positive.
There we go. Amen.
Yeah,
I'm glad.
yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody. It was a pleasure seeing you guys today, and you guys have a great day.
On the same token, Jeremy, you'll
Mhm.
notice I have not coughed once. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
How you telling me you got some oregano oil?
Yeah,
Wow.
thank you.
Amen. Gee.
So
So
tell
how-
me about that. Tell me more about that.
I
Amen.
I have